Another Gillette AFL trade update here on AFL.com.au. Hello everyone, Matt Thompson alongside Adam McNichol, and the big story of this entire trade period has been Kurt Tippett, and it remains the case because there is now an AFL investigation underway into exactly what agreement he had with the Crows about moving on from that football club. Adam?
Very interesting, Matty. It does seem there was a gentleman's agreement of some type to allow Kurt Tippett to move clubs, move away from Adelaide, that is. But it does seem that things have got a little bit complicated once Kurt said he wanted to go to the Sydney Swans and not the Brisbane Lions or Gold Coast, which we assume now is what the agreement was about, that Adelaide was prepared to let him go to Queensland. This Sydney Swans thing has sort of blown it right open. The
talk had been that a deal involving Jesse White and perhaps a pick from Sydney to the Crows was as good as done back on Friday. And then all of a sudden, things have got a whole lot more complicated. This is a very interesting scenario, and now the league's involved. There is an investigation underway. The Crows say that they are cooperating with the investigation, and that the investigation only came about after they tipped off the league. It's an intriguing situation.
It is very intriguing, and the spectre of potential draft tampering now hangs over this situation. Now, of course, the investigation is underway, so the AFL's not commenting, and they have to look at all the facts and try and work out exactly whether this gentleman's agreement was made and whether it does in fact constitute draft tampering. The tricky situation is there's only a couple of days of trade week to go, so this investigation has to happen very quickly. And the question is, will it affect whether Kurt Tippett can get to the Swans or not?
Yeah, this is a story that we will continue to follow. Now, we have had a deal done today. It involves Kobe Stevens from the West Coast Eagles heading to the Western Bulldogs. He is coming across for pick 44, Adam.
Yes, no issues with that one. No investigation required. Good old simple swap. Kobe Stevens wanted to come back to Victoria. He ends up at the Dogs, where you would imagine he'll be straight into the senior side because the Dogs are in this rebuilding phase. And pick 44 seems like a good deal all round.
Back in Perth at the Eagles, Mark Nikoski signed a new one-year deal. Of course, he's had his injury concerns, but this is a show of faith.
It is indeed, yeah. Mark Nikoski, a very, very fine player when he's fit at both ends of the ground, does a lot of good work up forward. Good work by the Eagles, you'd have to say. Give him another year. Hopefully, if he gets his body right, his career might continue beyond 2013.
And the talks between St Kilda and West Coast, it's hard to really gauge where they're at the moment with Mitch Brown and Jamie Cripps in a potential swap. That remains certainly something that is on the agenda and is being talked about.
I think we've talked about this one every day, Matty. I think it's going to go down to the 2 p.m. deadline. Strange things always happen in the trading period, so who knows?
And last night, Tom Hickey from the Gold Coast comes to St Kilda on pick 13 in a shuffle of later draft picks. So the Saints got their man there.
Yes, interesting tactics by the Saints. They've traded away pretty much all their first round picks. They got Tom Lee, a key forward from Claremont. Now they've got Tom Hickey, a very, very promising ruckman, it has to be said, and some great backup for Ben McAvoy. So the Saints, I suppose, are signalling their intention to not go down the bottom like the Dogs and rebuild. They want to keep firing.
All right, well, that is our report for now. The very latest on the Gillette AFL trade period. Of course, it keeps on coming online with all our reporters on the phones making calls. We have Trade Radio on the air as well, the Trade Tracker. It's all in the hub. Have you got any gags to finish with today, Adam? No humour from you? It's actually been a very straight report. We've had a lot of serious things to talk about.
I've got nothing for you, Matty, except to say that you've done a marvellous job today.
All right, everyone. We'll catch you soon.